Hey everyone, it's Zena Dalla, your verticline posture coach. And today, as I indicated, we're going to talk about bending and how you bend your back. Now, I do watch a lot of Facebook Live videos, and I have to say that when I press play on a lot of them and I see that they're 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes long, I tend to get dissuaded. So my mission is to try to keep this under 5 minutes. I might go to 7, but be as quick as possible so that you can turn it on, learn something new, and move on with your day. So today we're going to talk about bending, as I indicated. I'm sure you've heard the phrase lift with your legs, or bend your knees to lift something off the floor. Well, I'm going to explain why that's important and how the bending that you're doing, maybe not just on your exercise, because in exercise we can kind of concentrate on it, but the bending you might be doing at your desk throughout your workday could be causing a problem. So I'm going to stand up, move my little chair out. I'll let you show this off. This is what I sit on when I'm working at my desk. I'm going to come backwards a little bit. And I wore this longer top for a reason because it's got lines on it. So when we bend, we tend to bend over from our back, right, like this, where we round and we kind of hinge over. And that's especially like, this is my desk here. So like I bend to pick up my mouse, I kind of bend over here by rounding my back. When you do that excessively, it puts a lot of, strain and asks a lot of your lower back muscles. Well, your lower back muscles weren't really meant to do significant amounts of bending like that. Obviously, we can bend from our lower back, but that wasn't the intention. So when people say bending by using your legs or lifting something, when you're losing your legs, it's because they really want you to bend from your hip joint and then bend your knee to pick something up off the floor. So let me lower this down a little bit so you can see a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm going to hinge from my hips, and then I can bend my knees, and then I can lift whatever it is up off the floor. And that's the intention behind that, is they want you to actually bend from your hips so that you can bend your knees. If I bend from my back and I bend my knees, I can still pick something up, but as you can see, I'm actually using these muscles to pick it up. When I bend from my hip joint, I'm actually going to use my leg muscles, which is what the actual intention of that is, to use your hamstrings and your glutes to lift back up. And those muscles were meant to do that action. They were designed. They're larger muscle groups so that they can help you pick something up off the floor by using your glutes and hamstrings. So to hinge from your hips properly, you're going to take your hand, you're going to place it right here in your hip crease. I'll kind of move this up a little. I promise I won't get undressed. Right here so you can see my hip crease. And again, I can hinge from here. And the sensation is that I'm pushing my hips backwards. I also have the weight in my heels, as you can see here. I can lift my toes up here. My weight is in my heels, and that kind of helps me hinge from my hip. Also, another really important tool to remember is to keep your chest open. So if I round from my upper back, then when I try to go hinge from my hips, sure, I'm going to get that lean back, but I'm also going to be rounded, and I'm also rounded in this lower back. So if you open up your chest, draw your shoulders back, which is something I say all the time, and then you hinge from your hips. That way, your chest is broad, you're going to get a flat back, and you're going to get that true hinge where we actually use these muscles to stand back up again. So here at my desk, how I'm going to do this is when I bend over, I'm going to think about bending and hinging to pick up my mouse. When I bend over to pick up my phone, I'm going to bend and pick up my phone. So instead of rounding all the time, you'll get into a habit. It's going to feel weird at first. Like, this does not feel weird. This does not feel right. I'm sticking my butt backwards. Why am I doing this all the time? But over time, it'll just become some sort of natural habit. I do it all the time. No one's ever told me that I bend weird. It's just something that I do now because I know it's better for my body. So there you go. Look at that. Only 4 minutes long. And hopefully that gave you a little bit of an idea about how bending can really affect your lower back and how you really should be hinging from your hip joint and using your muscles in your legs to lift stuff off the floor or even from your desk. That position is going to be better and more optimal for you. It's proper posture, which is what I'm all about. So there is my Facebook Live video for the day. Feel free to visit me on Instagram or on Facebook right here, or to visit my blog at verticline.com if you have any questions, or you can even post right here if you have any questions and I will respond back. Have a great Wednesday.